Hello. For this screencast, we're going to talk about the National Constitution Center. And right here, I have taken us to the constitutioncenter.org, which is where I'd like you to spend some time. If you go in here, you go into Explore the Constitution, and it comes into the Interactive Constitution of the United States of America. And we're going to go in and explore it. So here we're going to go in and we're going to go first to the articles. We're not going to do the amendments yet. That's the Bill of Rights and the rest of the amendments to the Constitution. But here we're going to start with the articles. We are going to talk about the legislative branch today. And here that gives you the text of the Constitution and some just generally outlines what each section does. Okay, so we've already talked about the Congress and how the House of Representatives and the Senate and what you have to do to be qualified to be in the House of Representatives and the Senate. And we in here it talks about, you see this in yellow is where they took out after the Civil War, they took out like the 3/5 compromise, et cetera, and all those terrible, terrible things that were put into the Constitution. Talks about taking a census and how the census is made every 10 years to be able to count how many people are in the United States for the purpose of population and representation. Continuing on, talking about the Senate and what the Senate, what the qualifications for the Senate is, and the age, and that the Vice President is the President of the Senate. And we continue on. We're talking about impeachment here. The House of Representatives has the power to impeach or vote to have a president or someone they feel has not done a good job. They have to pass that in the House of Representatives by 2/3 majority, and then it has to go to the Senate, where the Senate will act as the trial and will try the person, or the president usually, for whatever crimes they believe happened, and the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court acts as the judge. It's only happened twice in our country, and that was with Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton. Neither one of them ended up getting kicked out of office. Continuing on, talks about when they should meet. They have to meet at the same time. Talks about what they have to do for disorderly behavior, that they're in charge of their own people, they have to keep a journal. That this talks about them getting money for doing what they're doing. In Section 7, it says that every single bill that has to do with taxes or revenue has to come into the House of Representatives, and but the Senate can propose all other amendments and all bills. Talking about how they pass a law. In here, it has to be introduced into either the House of Representatives or the Senate. Has to pass both houses. If it passes the House, it has to go to the Senate. If it goes to the Senate in the beginning, it has to go to the House. A bill has to pass both houses before it can go to the president. And the president has the right to veto the law or not have it happen, or approve the law and have it immediately become a law, or put it under a pile of papers for 10 days, and then it does become a law anyways. So these are the different qualifications. Section 8 are all of the powers of the Congress, and there are many of them. It's all about how borrowing money, declaring war, establishing a rule of naturalization, meaning how people become citizens. They can coin the money. They can punish people for counterfeits. They could establish the post office. They have in charge of patents. They put together the courts. They punish people for piracy. The most important thing, declaring war, raising an army and navy and militia. It's all the things that they can do. In the very last section there, talks about, it leaves a loophole so that if there is a law or something that hasn't been invented yet, it can be applied into the Constitution. For example, rules regarding airplanes or the internet, or roads and highways and automobiles. None of those things had been invented yet. So those are they're bundled in a little section called the Elastic Clause. Section 9 gets into slavery. Once again, they took that out. Talking about habeas corpus, which we need to talk about, and different things that they have to deal with. Funny here, it says nobody can be called a king or lord or duke. They cannot get that. That just doesn't happen. No state can enter into any alliance. No, this is more things about what states can do. So that's it for, I mean, that's a big, Article 1's really big and vast, and I want you to take some time to look at it. But this should help you kind of get your head around what it's all about.